Fighting is my favorite drug. Why do I say that? Because growing up throughout my life, especially having like Islamic values, I had zero interest in doing any kind of drug or drink or anything like that. Smoking, zero interest whatsoever. I was not concerned with what the sensation might feel like. Getting high will feel like, what being drunk will feel like. Had zero bearing and zero interest to me. Well, I mean, I just figured I just love fighting, you know? But when you fight, like you go through a series of emotions. It's not always 100% positive, 100% copacetic. Like you'll go through doubts sometimes, even when you know you have skills, even when you know that you're in shape. You'll have fear sometimes, even though you know that you're a good fighter, even though that you could beat the other opponent. Regardless of what you believe, sometimes you'll have, again, combined with doubt, like, okay, what if you underperform? What if you're not gonna be as good as you want to be? What if you don't quite reach those certain goals? And then when you fight and when you reach certain goals, win championships and go through like hard obstacles in the fight game, you get such a rush and such a reward and such what you call like a head high that you can't replace with like anything else. Like eating food won't give you nowhere near the level of gratification of winning a fight or becoming a champion. Having sex to the highest degree does not give you the same kind of satisfaction that you can get through fighting. It's not the same kind of reward. And buying stuff, whatever you want to buy. Alhamdulillah, all praise be to the Most High. Age 31, the only material thing in my life that I haven't bought that I specifically want is like the Porsche Carrera GT. It's not even like this the status or the things that come from fighting. It's just knowing you can just go to like a different level. Like fighting is that thing, that one thing, that ultimate video game. Similar to life, it's like every time you beat a level, you get like another level that you gotta surpass. And it's like there's just always a new challenge and always a new horizon. No matter how many opponents you beat, no matter how hard you train, no matter how much hard you push yourself, there's like a new horizon. Somebody's gonna push that envelope. And I remember when I won the World Championships for the last time as an amateur. I competed in 3 different tournaments, 3 different brackets, excuse me, at the WK World Championships in 2016. I brought 3 gold medals. I wanted to test myself because it's like winning 1 specific bracket was not going to be satisfying for me. Winning 2 was not going to satisfy me because a lot of people were going to compete at least 2 different brackets. I had to compete in 3 different brackets just so I could feel like I did something noteworthy to myself, that I wasn't just there going through the motions. And you know, I was sick. I could have trained for that event better. I had to fight at a higher weight class than I had intended to, and I also got very sick. Because it was in Italy, I have severe asthma, people were smoking indoors. It was a mess, and I had to really push and dig deep to like ensure that I won, knowing that I was going to be at my best form. And you know, after I won, I got paraded around town, and people took a picture of me that, you know, now you're speaking English, whatever the case may be. It was a really good time. And I was in such a good mood, even though I was sick with the flu. Flying back to the United States, that it took like 2 weeks for like my mood to like drop at all. I got back, my then fiance, ex-wife, met me at the airport, jumped in my arms. She had a cheesesteak ready for me. I hadn't had a cheesesteak in a while, you know. And then like even the next day, like I had to take it in the morning, like 6 a.m. You know, I hadn't got much sleep. It didn't even matter because like I was still on cloud 9 from just winning that tournament. Like I was satisfied and proud of myself. You know, that's a feeling to be proud of yourself, not just because what other people think about you, it's because like you're satisfied with something that like you did. That means something. Like and especially when you push yourself to that internal satisfaction and know that like I'm proud because I've done this. But like, as all things, they're gonna be temporary. They're eventually gonna like go away. That rush, that excitement, that fear, all the things you experience from being in the fight game, it's not gonna like last forever. And you see this like with a lot of modern athletes who don't know when to guess hang it up or retire, whatever the case may be. And you know, I love how Creed 3 really like put like an emphasis on that feeling, that phenomenon that fighters and athletes like may go through. I posted on my YouTube channel before, like retirement's not the goal. Like others want to like sit back and relax. Like for some people, maybe that might be an ideal way to live your life. But for a lot of people who are, I guess, ambitious, I don't want to just sit back and relax. Like you see Mayweather, like yeah, he could ride off into the sunset and just chill for the rest of his life. But you can see like he's not getting satisfaction from that. You know, he needs to still fight exhibitions. He still needs to get inside the ring and perform instead of just get fat and lazy and old, because there's nothing in his life that could be anywhere as exciting as him having to fight, for example, Manny Pacquiao. And if he lost to Manny Pacquiao, that would have changed history and how we understand boxing as we know. It was more than just fighting for a championship. It was fighting for like main character. He had to fight for main character his whole career. And now, outside of boxing, how he's gonna be able to fulfill himself in that kind of way. One of the scariest thoughts, especially now that I'm in my 30s, I'm 31, is like, facing the reality, when exactly do you want to retire? When exactly is it going to be time to hang up the gloves? Because that in of itself is like somewhat of like a death of a family member, a death of yourself before you yourself die. And then you gotta think about what you're gonna do after that. It's scary. It's a very scary thing. It's a very sad thing, a very morbid and depressing thing to think about. It's like, when exactly will Brima not be able to become the best Brima as a fighter that he can be, or chase the goals? Because that was my major goal growing up. And then of course life happens to a lot of people. You get sidetracked, you don't quite get there, and everybody can be a number one, like, you know, first place you can't be tied for it. But even that pursuit of greatness, that pursuit of accomplishment, that pursuit of fulfillment, that pursuit of excellence, when do you give that up and when do you trade that for something else? I don't know if for mental health reasons, if I couldn't be a fighter, like, would I really have the capacity to be a good husband? Would I have the capacity to really be a good father, a good friend, a good whatever? Because like there'll be like that level of misery that exists inside your heart. I would wonder how athletes, like, you know, football players, especially for boxers, you know, from people like Sugar Ray Leonard, Mike Tyson, whatever kid, how do they like even start doing drugs? I will always wonder that, like, what would interest them and motivate them to start doing drugs? And I got injured like almost 2 years ago. I had a labrum injury that's very painful, and I tried lots of things. I said I didn't need surgery, just had arthritis in my arm plus a labrum injury, and couldn't take ibuprofen because I had gastritis, other pain medications, like, you know, whatever was just making me sick. My ex-girlfriends at the time said I should try weed edibles to take away the pain, you know, because I did take CBD. CBD helped with my arthritis greatly. And I can remember the first time I got high, and it was the same feeling I got before, like, I get inside the ring, where you kind of debate, like, is this a dream or is this reality? It begins to rush. It's kind of like going at the top of like a roller coaster. Whether you're nervous or not, you get that feeling of being like way high up above the ground, and I think that's why they call it being high. And then, you know, I started tripping, seeing, like, you know, I had like 4 hands. I was in a kaleidoscope. I was on the Bifrost. It was a whole mess. But aside from that, I was using the edibles for pain, and I hated it. And especially, like, I guess marijuana has a side effect of making you paranoid sometimes, so it kind of replicated like that sense of fear that you sometimes go through, like, as a fighter. First, when I started to feel better, then my ex-girlfriend broke up with me. And then, well, you know, if the weed got rid of the physical pain, to help with the emotional pain. And even though, like, weed is not addictive, it's like, it got to a point where, like, I was, like, just taking it basically every day, whether I just had, like, pain or not. And it didn't make me feel good about myself, because, like, there's a lot of people that look up to me and respect me, whatever the case may be, especially being Muslim. And I guess I started using it because, like, to feel like that void of fighting a little bit. Like, I started doing other things in business, you know, and working, because I had my son in my life, whatever the case may be, so I made myself become more busier doing work and entrepreneurship. And I also started doing things regarding business because of not having the opportunity to get fights. So I just felt like that void with, like, stuff to do, business ventures to go on, because I didn't have that lack of fighting in my life. So I kind of, not fighting has been like my version of a midlife crisis in a sense. So this year, 2023, after Ramadan, depending on when this video comes out, I guess my enormous goal to, like, get back in the ring and start fighting. That's what I want to do. Like, because fighting is kind of like a drug. Like, it's more than just a sport. At a certain point, for a lot of people, it doesn't become a sport no more. It becomes like a way to cope with life. And fighting was how I made my identity. Fighting is what I wanted to be. Like, I don't get, like, jealous of other people. The only time I really feel jealousy is when people are fighting and I'm not. You know, this is not whether they win or lose. Like, I wish I was in the ring fighting. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes somebody has, what kind of material things other people have. Like, the only time I really feel jealousy is, like, we're, like, really just completely insufficient with myself. It's like other people are fighting and I'm not fighting and not knowing what I'm gonna be fighting next. Like, it's terrible. It's misery. It's like, it's saddening. And while you're in it, sometimes, like, that's when you do, like, weed edibles. While you're in it, you don't quite realize exactly where you're at with yourself while you're in that high or chasing that high. And then until after you're done and you look at yourself retrospectively, it's like fighting was a very, very healthy form of being high for me. A way to try to give myself a sense of purpose. And because of the chemical effects of THC, it kind of started to, like, fill that gap a little bit and numb me to the fact that I wasn't fighting. I hope you can watch this video, and kids, don't do drugs. I'm not promoting drugs in any kind of capacity. You know, I'm not knocking those who do, you know, use marijuana, but I want you guys to be conscious of what it means to be a fighter, and if fighting is important to you, it means something to you, then keep doing it. And I wish you all the best through all the ups and downs, the turmoil and struggles that come with the fight game. So don't forget to, like this button. Don't forget to comment below, guys. Tell me why fighting is important to you. Why is your favorite drug? Don't forget to cop some King Kamara Brimezus t-shirts, Jackson shirts off my websites. The link will be in the description box below. Most importantly, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel so I can continue to you guys work content on a regular basis. Your boy Brimezus. I will see you guys next time.